Good afternoon, Littleton. It's Thursday, May 15th. Welcome to 01460 On the Go, Littleton's podcast for Littleton by Littletonians. My name's Karen Morrison. I am chairman of the select board, and with me is Mark Rombacher.
Hello.
And he's on the select board as well. And today we were just going to do a little bit of a recap of things that have been happening and things that will be happening soon in town. So I thought we would start with one of the bigger events in town recently, which was the groundbreaking at 550 King Street.
So we had a groundbreaking at 550 King Street a week ago Monday, I think May 5th. It was the governor came and did a nice talk. Congressman Trahan, our state reps were there. They have started the work on the infrastructure. So the sewer, water, and everything is required to go in before the first building goes vertical, which hopefully will be sometime this fall.
Yeah. So that was that's exciting. We're finally in the phase where we're going to start actually seeing things happening at that location rather than hearing about them. So
right. So right now people will see construction equipment over there, but they won't actually see buildings being erected. But that should happen sometime this fall, I hope.
Yeah. So that's big things coming up, but big things happening already too. So.
It's great to see progress.
Yeah, for sure. And other things that have happened recently, we had elections, and those were May 10th. Wanted to congratulate Ivan Pagasic and Melissa Hebert on their election to the Light and Water Commissions both. Sean Ahern for the school committee, he was a writing candidate. And then you, Mark, you were reelected to select board. Congratulations, and Gary Wilson as well. And I think it's important to thank everybody who stepped up and ran, right? Whether opposed or not. It's how our town operates.
Yeah, I was at the polls for most of the Saturday. It was great to see everyone come in. It'd be nice to get a larger voter turnout than we had. This year, I think, was the first time we actually had more people vote by mail than in person. But we still had like 12-15% of the population, which is normal for an election. But it would be great to see more people actually on the ballot and at the polls.
Yep. And if anybody is ever interested in running in the future for any of the offices, just call the town clerk's office.
Yeah, and also I would say reach out to us because I'd like to figure out, we would like to make it easier for people to get involved in politics in town and want to step up. It's not an easy job necessarily to do, and it's even harder to find people that are willing to do it. They're kind of afraid of getting involved. It's not as scary as people think.
That's true.
And we need more people, so we'll do anything we can to help smooth the process.
Yeah, that's a great point. Also, we had town meeting on May 6th, and this was a fairly quick town meeting, as town meetings go, right? I think we were out by 10.
Yeah, everything on the warrant passed except the limit of the marijuana grow facilities to 0. I forget which article that was.
15.
15, and the Article 12, which was the special legislation for town hall.
Right, and then 13 was not voted on.
13 wasn't voted on, and there were a couple other minor ones that weren't voted on. We didn't have a contract with the police union, so we didn't vote on that, and there were no bills for prior years.
That's right. And a couple other things that might be of interest to folks who, if they weren't there or didn't look at it later, which you can, by the way, on LCTV, is we voted to purchase a new fire engine, which is sorely needed.
Yes, I believe it's engine 1 that's being replaced. One of the issues we have now with the equipment is it's a really long lead time to get something. So engine 1's is already undergoing substantial maintenance, but it's still going to be 2 to 3 years before we can get a new one. So the planning is required for these major equipment purchases is getting to be quite a bit.
Yeah. Trying to think of what else. We talked about Long Lake, the Long Lake Revolving Fund, I think might be of interest to folks. that was passed in order to create a stable source of income for the Clean Lakes Committee to work on keeping Long Lake free of invasives and take care of other needed actions, maintenance, and that type of thing, projects over at Long Lake. And that was in cooperation with the Parks and Rec Commission.
Right. So so the Park and Rec is going to start a solicitation for gifts for that fund going forward, and in the future, some of the beach fees and some Tawatawan fees may be also going towards that fund.
Let's see. We also talked about. Let's see, the zoning bylaw we already discussed. That was the other one that didn't pass, but everything else went pretty quickly. The operations budget went quickly, which was nice to see. Again, we were able to come in. Thank you to the finance committee who works on this year round. We were able to come up with a balanced budget. I just did a quick look earlier about who else is looking at overrides or debt exclusions, and Pepperell, Ashby, Townsend were all looking at overrides for their schools. It looked like Acton was looking for a debt exclusion for a public works building, right? Concord was looking at a debt exclusion as well, and then Groton, you mentioned.
I believe Groton is looking for an override for their schools. With the Shaker Lane project, we are likely looking for an override if that project comes forward in November.
Right. So it's interesting to see, always interesting to compare what's happening around us. And, Littleton has been really fortunate that we've had a balanced budget these last few years when there's so many other towns that have not had that.
Yeah, we have a very strong finance team and finance committee that help keep everything on track and keep us from spending too much money, which has been huge, keeping our debt, our bond rating high and our debt low. So
let's see. We also wanted to talk about a few things that are coming up.
Also, before town meeting, we had the Shaker Lane Building Committee did a presentation that I believe is also on LCTV, where people could come in and ask questions. It was fairly well attended. That should be up on LCTV, and there's another schedule of meetings coming up around that, so people should look at the website and figure out when a meeting is that they can attend.
Right. So during that meeting, they showed the most recent changes to the plan for the building and the entry and the grounds, as well as discussed funding and cost. I know that MSBA and the building committee will have an updated cost. It should be sometime around the end of June.
Right. There should be a new cost estimate sometime in early summer, and there should be a firm commitment from MSBA on their reimbursement rate sometime in early fall.
Yep. So we'll be sure to have the school building committee on here to talk about that once those numbers are in as well. And then in terms of things that are coming up, we have Zero Waste Day is being offered over at Littleton High School. That's on Saturday, May 17th. That's going to be from 9 to 1. That's a great opportunity for folks to bring things that they have that are still usable or that need to be recycled, and to take a look and see if there's anything that they're interested in as well.
Yeah, look on the website to see who the vendors are that are coming, and you can figure out what they'll take and if there's any charge for any of that. Sometimes there's charge for things like electronics, but most of the things are usually free.
Yep.
And it's a good way of getting rid of the stuff that you've been accumulating and pass it on to a new home.
Yep, and that's the environmental club, I believe, at the high school, and then sustainability committee, the town sustainability committee is also involved. We also have ribbon cutting on Friday.
Right. The center on Shattuck Street will be open as of tomorrow. There's a ribbon cutting at 1 o'clock, so everyone should come out, tour the new building. There'll be a speakers, hors d'oeuvres, beverages, see what's going on. It's a gorgeous building for everyone to see inside, and this campus is going to be hopping next week.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I'm assuming that the building will be open for folks to take a look.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I hope everybody will come and check it out. In addition, let's see, what else there was one more thing we wanted to talk about, which was change to speed limits in town. We had one change, Select Board made a change to Long Lake Drive, and that's going down to 20 miles per hour.
Right. So the select board made Long Lake Drive a safety zone, so we could make it a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. I believe in January or so, the select board, at the request of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee, requested the state lower the speed limit on Great Road, Great Road from Middlesex Bank up past Acton Toyota, where it's currently at 35. We asked them to reduce it to 25 that entire way. The state came back and said they would reduce it to 30 miles per hour in that zone. They are still doing a study to figure out what the buffer zone is on the outside of that, so that speed limit will be reduced at some point coming forward. And there's also in front of the high school that the speed limit is currently 40, and that will be being reduced to 35 as well. The other information is the state is looking to put in RRFBs, the rectangular rapidly flashing beacons. There will be hopefully 3 of them going up on King Street, one at Castle in the Trees, one at Pondside, and one at Baldwin Hill. Hopefully sometime over the summer, but we don't have confirmed dates from the state yet.
Right.
But they have been approved.
And those are, for folks that aren't familiar with DPW lingo, those are at crosswalks. Those are the flashing lights that you see under the pedestrian crossing sign that help get attention.
Yeah, there'll be the lights like you see it at Kimball's, outside of Kimball's.
And I think that's all we've got for today, unless you've got anything else, Mark.
I wanted to congratulate Karen on being the new chair of the select board.
Thank you.
And congratulate all the new chairs as the boards reorganize.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for listening or watching, and we'll catch you in 2 more weeks.